Alright guys, so this is the Friday night smoking and drinking edition of the spreads here. Well, I do these things on YouTube so that maybe you guys will, see it, not like the smack I talk about your fucking god-awful squads, and then maybe post up a response or two. But so far, none of you had a real comeback for any of my shit, and my predictions as far as me winning every game so far have worked out. Not so sure about this week, but let's take a look. Going from suck to suck. Yeah, the best thing about this team is the names that Campbell picks for it. You really can't beat that. Good shit. I like the humor. Um, Kyle Orton has been damn good, but in this matchup, I just don't see him doing much. I know they got the Jets at home, and that just doesn't bode for 320 yards and 2 TDs like Flea Flicker thinks. They also think that Vince Young will have 260 yards and 2 TDs, plus some rushing yards. So they cancel each other out. I like Vince Young better than I like Kyle Orton. L. Washington for Is It Next Year Yet is predicted with a 0 because he's like the third string running back on that team. Only way that Tony's getting any points off of that guy is if he runs back a kick. And I suppose he could. But, it really sucks that he has to trot that guy out there as one of his starters. Now, going from suck to suck is actually fielding an okay team, taking a flyer with Jerome Harrison, putting him in the starting lineup, hoping that Willis McGahee vultures a touchdown. Bolden is solid and should have a good game. Driver's solid, should have a good game. Zach Miller's looking like the goods, man. So those are nice pickups. But the McGahee and Harrison starts right there. I'd almost rather put in Brandon Jacobs, who we newly acquired. And I did not jump on that shit, and I should have because I have Bradshaw, and that would have been a nice handcuff. Tony's receiving core is admirable. Miles Austin and Austin Collie should put up solid numbers in their games. But overall, I think that the Campbell squad here just looks like a little bit better in a pretty shitty matchup here. I think these are going to be two of the lowest scores of the week. So whoever can squeak one out is going to be the winner. Something like 85 to 90 or something like that is going to win this game. Moving on, West Coast playing Flight Triple X. I'm rooting for little brother here. He got a chance to go to 4-2. And yeah, Mark Sanchez at Denver, bad matchup, not going to do well. He's going down. Schaub at home against KC. I know KC's been really good against the pass. I don't see that lasting. I think Schaub's going to tear him up. Brandon Jackson against Miami. Yeah, maybe 60 yards, maybe a touch, maybe not. Ryan Matthews should have a huge game at St. Louis. Norv Turner really wants to let him loose, and this might just be the week. Randy Moss already made a statement last week. He's going to make another one here against Dallas. Sims Walker finally caught a touchdown. He's going to be an active part of that passing game. Jabbar Gaffney, you never know who's going to get the rock there in Denver, but could do all right for him. And he won't be affected by Orton's picks. I guarantee Orton throws a pick or two this week. Meanwhile, Jason Witten is resurgent. And Neil Rackers is a solid kicker. Whereas Sanchez, I think, has been a farce. I really don't think he's going to do shit. Danny Woodhead is a desperation play. LaShawn McCoy does look good and should do good work against Atlanta. He'll be active in that game. Andre's coming back. He'll be back with a vengeance against KC. Brandon Lloyd, like I said, I don't know. If Gaffney or Lloyd, I don't know which one of them is going to have a good game, but I don't see Lloyd doing big work in this week's matchup. And, of course, I'm rooting for Michael Crabtree, but who knows what he's going to do. Really, a couple of real big flyers there for our boy Nate. And I think the predictions here on the website are way off. I think it's going to be the opposite of this score. West Coast going to score about a $120 and take down Flight Triple X. Next game up, what do we got here? Oh, Suck My Birds and the High Steppin' Freak. Two modern marvels here. Both of these teams actually are fielding something somewhat competitive, although Suck My Birds does have a couple of holes in her roster. You know, Mike Bell, backup running back, starting in your lineup. Really, he's not starting for his team. He shouldn't be starting for you. Braylon Edwards, not a great matchup. Maybe he'll catch a touch. Maybe he won't. He's a talented player. Probably the best receiver on that team. Brandon Tate, is he going to be Randy Moss? Well, we'll find out against Baltimore. Tom Brady's not going to have any time to throw those deep passes. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be a lot of Deion Branch and Wes Welker in that game and that new tight end that they got. I do like Brent Selleck actually against Atlanta. They've got him predicted for 3.5 points. I think he's going to drop more like 12 or 14. High Steppin' Freaks just got a much more complete team, though. Tom Brady looks good. Adrian Peterson. Felix Jones finally getting anointed the feature back duties. Roy Williams has been doing really, really solid work for the last few weeks. Kevin Walter looks good. Lance Moore is a wild card. Tony Gonzalez. I just don't see Suck My Birds keeping up with it. I think Dallas is going to be all over Brett Favre, and I don't even know if Favre finishes that game. I think he's going to keep his consecutive game streak going, but ultimately I imagine he'll get knocked out. Now the game that I'm really curious about here, Solid Snakes versus the LA Riots. The Riots have been good, 3-2, winning record. I don't think it's going to last. Solid Snakes coming with Maurice Jones-Drew on Monday night, Javid Best getting healthy. LaDainian Tomlinson's been tearing people up all year. Santana Moss has been catching tons of passes this year. And Mike Williams, Tampa Bay, is the real deal, the next solid rookie receiver. You know, every year or two there's a rookie receiver that has a great year, and I think Mike Williams is that this year so far for sure. The Riots have a solid team top to bottom as well. Welker, Brandon Marshall, Malcolm Floyd, all been solid. Michael Turner not been as expected at Philly, not going to do much. Tony Romo at Minnesota, not going to do much. Arian Foster needs a rebound game, but KC's defense has proven pretty solid against the run. I really don't see the LA Riots scoring over 100 points this week. And Brian, I'm afraid you're going to go down to 3-3. Solid Snakes picks up a win and goes to 2-4, stays in contention. I've still got a couple games on him, but he's going to stay alive this week. High-scoring game coming up between Primetime and the Jersey Madmen. Primetime is definitely better than his 2-3 record indicates. What I'm looking at here is Cutler with a big game against Seattle. Ernest Graham, bye-week fill-in, probably going to be pretty solid there for him. Chris Johnson needs to have a big game, and Jacksonville's just the team to do it against. Steve Smith, New York, will catch a lot of passes against Detroit. Eddie Royal, another one of those Denver receivers. Who knows who's going to get the rock this week. Hines Ward is going to love having Ben Roethlisberger back. He really is. Kellen Winslow finally is going to catch a touch. I agree with this. And Chicago's D is going to be very solid against St. Louis. Whereas Jersey Madmen, all right, Roethlisberger coming back, you know. So whatever Hines Ward does might negate some of that, but Mike Wallace certainly could be a big target in that offense. Steven Jackson looking for big yards against San Diego. I think he's going to carve him up. Rashard Mendenhall should have a field day against Cleveland. Colston should do really well at Tampa Bay. Percy Harvin, you saw what he could do last week. Greg Jennings also looking to break out, especially with Finley out. And Dustin Keller filling out the roster. Both these teams pretty damn solid from top to bottom. I think having to start Ernest Graham there against New Orleans might be a problem unless they really feature him, which I don't think they will. I'm going to have to give this one to Madmen in a very, very tight game. It could go either way, but I'll guess that the Madmen are going to win by just a couple of points here in a high-scoring affair. And next up, my matchup against Child Please. Now, the website has it a 20-point difference almost. A 16 or 17-point difference between Peyton Manning and Drew Brees. Thinking Peyton Manning's going to throw for 4 touchdowns, no picks at Washington. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. Ray Rice is back. He'll have a good game. Ryan Terrain, I have him in another league, and in 2 other leagues actually, and he should have a good game too. Pierre Garcon is back. I don't know what he's going to do, but he's back. If Washington is able to quell the Manning attack, then Child Please is going to be in deep shit because he's trying to get the double dip there with Garcon. Mike Wallace, like I said, is probably going to have a pretty darn good game against Cleveland. Danny Amendola maybe finds the end zone, maybe not. Don't expect a huge game from him. They've got my boy Vernon Davis, and I love Vernon Davis. They got him predicted for 121 yards and a touch on 7 catches. I think that's a little high. Meanwhile, I think Drew Brees is going to have a field day out there in Tampa Bay. I think Ahmad Bradshaw is going to destroy Detroit. Jamal Charles is going to be all over Houston. I'm putting in a newcomer here. Chris Ivory has found his way into the lineup here in a bye week, in injury-riddled week right here, actually. Not so much the byes. Chris Ivory should be getting the ball a lot against Tampa Bay. I'm hoping for a blowout in that game. Brees and Ivory get me 40 points together would be great. Meanwhile, Roddy White and Hakeem Nicks have become the two of the very, very best receivers in the league. And, I mean, that's pretty much all I got to say. I think this one is going to be a lot closer than the Flea Flicker box score predictor thing fucking has estimated. I do like Child Please's logo. I do, with the Ocho Cincos. I find it very interesting that that he's giving himself some bad karma by benching Chad Ochocinco for the game after he renames his team Child Please. Very curious. I think you might be angering the fantasy guys right there, and that Ocho might go for 2 touchdowns on your bench. Oh, wait! He's on a bye, so I understand. Never mind, I take it back. Anyway, guys, good luck this season. Good luck this week, except for Child Please, of course. I think we're going to have a pretty high-scoring affair here. And nobody really going on Monday night, so this game should be decided. We should know by about 4 o'clock on Sunday who the big winner is, although every single one of my guys is going in the morning games, which is great. I'll be able to concentrate on the Niners in the afternoon. All right, guys, take it easy, and may all your fantasy dreams come true.